Hello everyone and God bless. I'm joined here with Jeannie Baldomero that I need to give a big hug to. Jeannie has been married for 23 years. She has 3 kids, 2 boys and a daughter. And today we are going to be talking about her podcast that was released in January of 2023 called Raising Her Confidently. We're also going to be discussing her new book, No Problem Parenting, Raising Your Kiddos with More Confidence and Less Fear. Jeannie is a co-author of this book, and she'll tell us a little bit about that later. So for now, Jeannie, it's been a minute, more like 3 years, that we've actually, talked and had this conversation. So back in 2020, you started a group called Rooted, and then you felt God led to do a podcast, Raising Her Confidently, that you just started in January. So can you tell us a little bit about the focus of that podcast?
Sure. So this focus, Raising Her Confidently, is geared towards moms of tween and teen girls. And what we really focus on is creating open communication with teen daughters.
So important.
Yes, and I felt that was one of the number one needs after speaking with moms that I've mentored in the past, that they just want their daughters to come to them and talk to them, even if they're scared about anything. And a lot of times they desire this open communication because they just want to know if them as moms are preparing their girls for life.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you. Because
Of
I know
course.
as a mama, my daughter's 26, but I know that I still, want to keep developing, that relationship with her and listening to your podcast. There's still things, that resonate through it for me. So if you have teen girls or, girls that you still have at home living with you, I recommend that you, join in and listen to one of her podcasts. You won't be disappointed.
Yes.
So what prompted you? I know the Lord, you heard a calling from the Lord to do something like this, but what prompted you to start the podcast?
So back in 2019, I usually do a 24-hour retreat away with God. And I heard clearly there's a list of things that he had given me, and one of them was you need to start a podcast. And that was back in 2019.
Yes.
And I was sitting on this for, practically 4 years before I decided, okay, God, I know you have me here in this position for this reason. After a year of taking a personal hiatus from the ministry, I knew coming back in that I needed to start this podcast because it was time to reach a broader audience and to be able to, what my friend just mentioned, is have a voice in their pocket, to be able to encourage moms that they're not alone in this journey of raising teen girls, because I know how tough it can be, based on my own personal story.
Yes, me too. Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Yes. As mothers, we tend to be really hard on ourselves. And we often turn to that old familiar saying, I wish I knew then what I know now. So how can your podcast help mamas who may be struggling in their relationships with their daughters?
So this podcast is, again, like I mentioned, geared towards moms of tween and teen girls. And in each episode, I provide practical and tactical things that they can do that are bite-sized and that you're able to apply now. How do I know all this information? One, because I am a mom of a teen girl, but most specifically because it stems from my own story as a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I was that rebellious teenage girl that I'm sure most moms are Googling about. I can't believe my mom even told me, I don't even know who you are anymore. I clearly remember those words as a 13-year-old. And so I get it. I understand this is a tough season, and that having these tactical and practical things that we can do to lessen the gap between you and your daughter, I feel is very important, and it's information that moms can apply now.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that God led you to do this, because I know how it feels to sit on something and you hear something from the Lord and you contemplate, is this really what I'm supposed to do?
Yes.
And then COVID hits and then everything kind of just goes bonkers.
Right,
and then,
out of array.
Exactly. So you got to come back and sit with the Lord and say, okay, I'm here now, and
And its time.
In its time.
Yes, exactly.
And for me specifically, with Seeds to Serve, that's what I heard. It's time.
I love that.
So so here I am.
I love that. I feel like 2023 is a year where everyone's called to go and now spring it into action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So you just co-authored a book.
Yes.
How exciting! No Problem Parenting: Raising Your Kiddos with More Confidence and Less Fear. So can you share something from the book with us?
Yes, I'd love to. And with my old age, I need my reading glasses, so.
Contacts.
I wish I could do contacts. Okay, so my chapter in this book, it's called Mom, Remove That Guilt. So I understand the mom guilt, especially in the teen stage, can be very real for us moms, because you know what? Teenagers are good at picking our weak spots and, advertising that out loud and taking advantage of it. So I wanted to name this chapter Mom, Remove That Guilt. And this specific section I wanted to read, it's part of the change of the conversation and how we communicate. It's creating a safe space. Moms need to understand that communication during the coaching season will dictate how much their daughters will receive guidance. Open up in conversation and trust them as parents. Mark Gregston also gave some great points on authority. Authority alone is not your friend. Authority needs to be cushioned with relationships. It builds trust. Your daughter will change because of relationships, not authority.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's also what God calls us to, right?
Yes.
Not authority, not religion, but a relationship with Him. So that's beautiful. I love it. So I'm going to pick it up. Even though, my kids are older, I mean, I think there's always something, in there that, as a parent we can get, nuggets from. So.
I think so. Like, I'm realizing in the season of now parenting young adults that moms, our role may shift a little, but we're always mom.
Yes.
Yes, we're always mom regardless.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I lost my parents, over the last few years, and I mean, even with them, it was, they always want to make sure I was okay, what I was doing. They had to hear from me, so I don't think the parenting job ever, subsides.
It never goes away.
It never goes away. They always want to be, involved in our children's lives. So,
Exactly.
So, yes.
Exactly.
So this book, is it similar to your podcast? What are the differences?
So there are some differences with the No Problem Parenting book. This is co-authored by several other authors that are experts in each field of parenting. So No Problem Parenting covers an umbrella of different areas of parenting. There's even a section in there on nutrition where you can check your children's poop based on and determine whether or not they're getting the right foods.
Okay.
It's awesome. So you guys have to pick this book up for sure, where mine is more specific to mother-daughter relationships.
Got it.
Yes. And so the
Okay.
podcast itself focuses on mother-daughter relationships and communication.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jeannie, is there anything else that God's put in your heart that you want to share with us today?
Yes. Like I mentioned earlier, moms have a tendency to feel like they need to be the all-in person, that they need to have it together. And if they fall short, then they must be failing. And I want to encourage you, Mom, that we are meant to be in community. There's a reason why moms, especially women, like to gather in community and have each other, why we feel so much better when we leave. And I want to encourage you, mama teen and tween girl, that you are not alone, that this will be a rough season, and that is okay. But I also want you to know that there is support for you. Reach out to other moms and tween girls, or even come on to our podcast. I provide a free community for you to come and join as well. But I really do want to tell you that God sees you, God knows you, God is surrounding you with women that can support you.
Yes. Thank you. And women like Jeannie is who I gravitate to, so I love it. So, your book, where can somebody pick it up at?
Yes, you can buy this. I mean, it's available on Amazon, but you can also go to Linktree/Jeannie Baldomero. That's linktr.ee/Jeannie Baldomero, and then you'll find a button where the book is at, and you can purchase it, and it'll be shipped out to you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you.
So don't worry, I will make sure that I put all of that information here in the links below and in the YouTube video, and all information will be available for you, so you can go out and order your book today. So thank you, Jeannie,
Oh my
so
gosh,
much
thank
for
you so
spending time with me. Look forward to reading it and diving into your podcast as well.
Thank you.
So-
Thanks for having me on. I love everything that you're doing here, Brenda, and just serving the community at the capacity you are, and just doing God's work.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.